Hello, everybody, and welcome to our very next sponsors shout out for our Heart and Soul Virtual Expo, which is coming up. What day is it? It's Thursday. Oh, it's coming up in 6 days' time, so it's less than a week. We don't have long to go, and trust me, guys, we are all working in the background really tirelessly to make this expo the best expo it can possibly be. This is now our 7th Heart and Soul Virtual Expo that we've run, which is really, really exciting. Now, if you are popping on today, if you're watching live, say g'day, because you guys know that I love to feel like we're in the room with you rather than just talking to a camera. If you're watching the replay, pop hashtag replay. Because, guys, as I mentioned, you can see all around me that all these logos are the wonderful sponsors of our Heart and Soul Virtual Expo. And the wonderful lady who we are going to speak to today, and trust me, this is going to be one of the best interviews that I've ever done. No pressure. No pressure at all. Also one of my best friends, not going to lie, is we have the beautiful Suzi Manley from 5 Foot Rope with us. So I'm going to bring her up onto the screen now. So brace yourself, everyone, because this is going to be a wild ride. Here we go. Hello, Suzi Manley.
Hello, 𝐅𝐸𝐯𝐿 Sugars. How are you, love?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm just awesome. I did a little green room there, dancing.
I was watching you, and I was trying not to laugh because I could see you going, oh, God, yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be a good one. You're a cracker. All right. Now, first of all, Suzi, I want to say thank you so very much for sponsoring our virtual expo. I know that you run your own virtual expos, and I love the fact that we sponsor each other. We collaborate.
Yeah. Wouldn't miss it. Wouldn't miss it.
Wouldn't miss it. No, and I'm the same with yours. Wouldn't miss yours. But we are here today to learn all about you and your business and what you do. So we've got a long time, Sue, so we can talk about lots of stuff. Because I know that also you're a woman who's often short for words.
You and I, we struggle to find things to talk about, Ali. This is, I mean, this interview may only go for 10 minutes because you know that you and I struggle to find things to talk about.
Oh, no, it's going to be difficult. Not.
We're still going to be here going, hey, listen, we've got the networking event at 6:30. We've got to go.
Yeah, got to go now. Got things to do.
Got to go now.
All right.
Hey,
so,
Parmay. Hello, darling.
Hello, this is my beautiful Parmay. This is one of the ladies who's working tirelessly in the background. Suzi, so what I want to know, because we've all had a business journey, right, and how we came to do what we do. I would love to hear all about your journey and how you came to be an entrepreneur yourself. Big question.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's okay. We could be here a while. Sit down and break.
I grab a cup of chocolate.
Yeah, I need Tim Tams or something. We need something. No, look, I think for me, like I grew up, my mum and dad were always in business. They always had their own business from as long as I can remember. We moved to Perth for 3 years when I was 3 and came back to Queensland when I was 6, and mum and dad bought a business and then opened another business. So they were running 2 at the same time. And then they sold those businesses, and then dad got into another business that he ran from home. And so I was always in that mindset. And then sort of down the track, mum ended up buying a business here in Brisbane and ran that for a couple of years. So mum and dad have always worked for themselves, so both of them have always worked for themselves. And, they would have the business, mum would do all the books and do all, in those days it was the old, the ledger and the
ledgers. Yeah, my dad used to do that, and I still remember he used to teach me how to do it too, and it did my head in.
Yeah, no, mum used to do it all, and everything was like carbon copied, and and all the rest of it. So so they always had that mindset of working for themselves. And so I bought my first business. I was 20, I think. I was about 20 when I bought my first. I'm just looking at mum I couldn't, because mum remembers everything. I was 21, and my first business was a salon in Redcliffe, and I had never done nails before. I'd never done anything, but I knew it was a good business, and so I bought that. And unfortunately, the woman I bought it from did the dirty on me and took all my clients. And so I got and she was, and because you put in the contract that you're not allowed to practice anything within a 25-kilometer radius of the business, obviously, and she was doing them from home like 10 minutes down the road. So I lost about 80% of my clientele. And so that was a big lesson learned. And I only knew because a lady rang me. She said, look, I don't want to tell you who I am, but this is what's happened. She contacted me and she wants me. And she said, I know you're only young and I think it's terrible what she's doing. And so I had to build that business back up. So that was a baptism of fire, because I had to work out how to do that. And I had that business for a couple of years. And then, I sort of did a few other things, and then came back to working for myself a bit further down the track. And in the early 2000s, when I came back from Perth again, I moved back over to Perth for 5 years, sort of mid-90s, and came back 99, and worked for myself, worked for someone else for a couple of years, but then got back into working for myself, because it didn't matter how loyal you were to a company. It didn't matter whether you were the top salesperson in that company, which I was. I was the top salesperson in the region. I was the top salesperson in Queensland, South Australia, and they still sacked me because it was a personal thing, and they just needed to get rid of me because they were changing up the company, and so they sacked me anyway. And had to go through court and all the rest of it, unfair dismissal and blah blah blah, and that was just, it was horrific. And so and I made a promise to myself then that if I had the opportunity, I would never work for someone again. I would always control my own business. And so since then, that was 2002, I've pretty much worked for myself, doing a lot of different things, and learning eBay and online sales and drop shipping, and
done that.
Yep. A lot of different stuff, traded options, dealt in the share market, did all that, bought houses, renovated houses, so I've done a lot of different things. But you just sort of move with, because you do have that mindset, you sort of just move with what's happening in whether it's in the economy, whether it's in the business world, whether it's, COVID, whatever it is. And you just sort of move along and roll with the punches sometimes.
You do, don't you? And I've always said that it really does take a certain type of person to be a business owner. And you've said it too, and the same things happen with me as well. Is like, you've been in business, and then you've gone to get the old job, and then something's happened, and you've ended up leaving, and then you're right back in running a business for yourself, and then you go and get another one of those job things, but we keep getting led back to working for ourselves, and I think it really is, because it's a special kind of, I don't know, personality, determination. What would you say? How would you describe it?
I think it's just wanting more. You don't want to be tied into what someone else. You don't want to build someone else's. You don't want to build someone else's business. You don't want to build someone else's retirement. You want to build your own financial freedom. And I think the only way to do that is to work for yourself. You're not going to do it a job. I've always said JOB's just over broke. So it's and there's things that because I'm the personality that I am, I feel sorry for anyone who would employ me, because it wouldn't end well. Because I'm just like, what, I want to be able to do things the way I want to do them. I want to be able to control what's happening with me and what's happening with my growth. And, and I get in and I learn as much as I can, and I, read everything, watch everything, attend everything. And you just, I did it when I first got onto eBay. I had no clue how to use a computer. I had no clue how to code or do anything like that. And it only happened that my uncle was going around Australia, and he had a computer, and he said to me, look, love, will you hang on to this for me till I get back? I'm like, sure. I didn't even know how to connect it to the internet. And so I had to ring like Optus and go, what do I do? What do I need? What does this mean? I literally had zero clue as to what, you know, and I remember sitting in front of the computer going, okay, well, what do I look at? What do I do? I don't know what to look at. I don't know. And that was before Google. You didn't have Google. You know, it was before any of that. And eBay had just come into the fray, and people were sort of, you know, selling their grandma's cup and saucer and, you know, tables and chairs and, you know, and I looked at it and I thought, well, there's a business here. I could run a business on eBay. And so I started importing jewelry from America and moved on from there and went and sort of did a few other things and ended up landing on catering equipment of all things. And I sold everything from forks to fridges. So I rolled with, you know, with things happening. And so, and I just had to teach myself how to dress up my listings on eBay, how to set up a shop on eBay, you know, how to navigate customs when you're importing things from overseas. And I think when you're doing it yourself, you learn real quick.
Because you have to, because it's not like your you know, regular weekly income coming in. Is it like someone else paying you? You just got to figure it out for yourself. And I'm loving this, Suze, because I'm listening to this, and I've heard this before, but maybe I'm listening more than usual this time. Because, you know, we talk a lot. But no, I think it's fascinating how, because I did that too. I went, you know, I went to the eBay and I learned how to set up a shop, and we were selling lingerie, women's lingerie, and we had a whole shop setting it up. And it was brilliant. We had to learn how to set it up, and you're right, we had to do it really quickly, quickly. You know, work out if we were going to drop ship it or you know, order it in and post it ourselves. Oh God, it was and
there wasn't. I don't even know if YouTube existed back then. I don't think it did, but not to what it is now. Like if you want to know how to do something now, you go to YouTube. Right? Yeah. It's the second largest search engine in the world. It is a search engine. But you go to YouTube, you want to know how to build a fence, go to YouTube. You want to know how to fix your car, go to YouTube. If you want to know how to put a pen together, go to YouTube. There's everything on there. We didn't have that back then. It was literally like, okay, well, what happens if I click this? And what happens if I press that? And what happens if I do this? You know, and that was how we had to learn.
I still do that. I just, you know, you get an app and I just like, oh, let's click that button and see what it does. Well, no, you shouldn't have done that. But the best button I think that's ever been invented is the undo button.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I use it a lot.
But I think that comes down to you know, what some would call an entrepreneurial mindset, because you want to know more. I want to do it myself. I want to learn how to do it myself. I didn't have the money to go and pay someone to show me how to do all this stuff. And there wasn't the courses that they have now. There wasn't the information, the access to information that there is now. You literally had to just sit down, and I'd sit there till in my house, because I bought my first house in 2000. And so here I am with, you know, 2002, no job, and having to try and earn a living on and I'm trying to work eBay out. And luckily for me, it worked well. But that was, you know, a massive learning curve, seeing as I had never been on a computer before to do any of that stuff. I had no clue. So it was just cowboys and Indians, and you just had to jump in and just go for it and see what happened. I think I got banned 3 times, you know, because I'd done something wrong. I can't even count how many times I've been put in jail. I need one of those little tears, one of those little teardrops when you've been in jail.
Yeah, I'd have a few. Yes.
Tattoo.
So you've been through a business journey, and now you're running 5 Foot Rope. Now I know also too that 5 Foot Rope has had a few different versions of it. So tell us how, in particular, like where's the name 5 Foot Rope come from, and how did you come into
in 2015, 2016, we went into a business. It was a franchise, and we did our best to make it work. Unfortunately, the person who was the franchisor in Australia was ripping everyone off blind, so that didn't end well. But what I had done in 2018 was I had organised a networking event, because I said to Troy, my other half, I said to him, I said, I need to get in front of a room full of business people. Okay, because they were my clients, business people were my clients, and it was to do with advertising. And I said, I need to get in front of a room full of business people, not just one-on-one, because this is, you know, and I didn't know anyone. I was from the north side, and I'd moved over to the south side of Brisbane, and so I was new to the area and I didn't know anybody. And I thought, okay, right, well, and I'd been to a BNI networking event, which wasn't my cup of tea. I know that, don't get me wrong, nothing against them, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. And so I thought, okay, well, why don't I just set one up for myself? And in between the time I set it up to the time we held it, we actually handed the franchise back, because it was just a really, really bad situation, and the people were really dishonest. And yeah, it was, and all this sort of came out months later when the grand poobah of the franchise over in America, in Canada, actually contacted us and said, we had no clue any of this stuff was happening. We want to give you your franchises back, and blah, blah, blah. And I just said, no, don't even want to know. Thank you very much, but no. I didn't want anything to do with it. It was just too full on for me. But so I said to Troy, well, I've still got to have this networking event because people have bought tickets. Like, I was selling tickets for $10. And I said, you know, and I've got people have bought tickets, so I'll have that, and then I'll work out what I want to do when I grow up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he said, sure. And so we held it at a bar in Cleveland, at the bench in Cleveland, and I had 18 people turn up to the event, and I was actually really pissed off because I wanted 25. And I'm like,
I'm sorry, I just want to celebrate that I know where Cleveland is now.
You do know where Cleveland is. And and so, you know, and a friend of mine, Kathy Young, who I got to know, was at my very first networking event, 5 Foot Road networking event, and she said, I said, how do you think that went? She said, Suze, that was great, you know, and it was very informal. I wanted people to talk to each other. I wanted to spend the time with people connecting. It wasn't a sit around the table and, you know, get up and do your 60-second spiel and sit down again and blah, blah, blah. It was very informal, very different, and it was just brilliant, and I enjoyed it so much. When because I said to Kathy, what did you think? She said it was great. So I said, I was a bit disappointed with the turnout, and she said, Suze, I'm surprised you got 10 people here. No one knows you, so so the turnout really good. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so from then on, and on the way home, I said to Troy, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was absolutely brilliant. Why don't I make a business out of networking events? And Troy said, sure, babe, if that's what you want to do, great. So
I can hear you saying that. Whatever.
I'll do that. And so I started doing networking events and small business expos, like in-person expos, which is how I met the beautiful Claire Williams, you know, because she was at one of my first in-person business expos. And so, you know, so that was how that came about. And because with the franchise that we set up, we had to set up a company. And we were going through all these different names of, you know, I couldn't, and I actually put together our initials, Suzi, Coop, and Troy, and you know, and I came up with the word scat, and I thought, wow, scat like jazz, scat, and scat actually means poo.
Oh, probably shouldn't call it that then, eh?
And I didn't know that. I said to Troy, I said, what about like scat, you know, like scat? And I said, that's really cool. Like, it's a jazz thing, I think. And he's going, yeah, okay. Because when I Googled it, it's cat poo.
You Googled it. Poo.
I Googled it. It means cat poo. And I said to him, we can't have that name. It's a really shitty name.
And she's all right, ladies and gentlemen.
That went out the window. And then, and like when I first met Troy in 1992, when he was playing rugby, the two guys that he shared a house with, they were a bit cranky that the new girl was on the block and sort of took the attention away from, you know, of their mate, away from them. And if you saw me, you saw Troy, and if you saw Troy, you saw me. So Jace, one of the guys that lived there, said that we had a 5-foot rope between us. And so, right. And so fast forward 30 years. And when we were setting up the company, you know, after the scat incident, we sort of, you know, and driving along one day, and I said to him, what about 5-foot rope? And he said, perfect. And it was perfect because so fast forward 2 years, when I started doing the networking events, it had a meaning for us, as in that it had a special meaning for Troy and I. But in a network, you need to be connected to other people in that network, in that business network or that business community. And so it was that 5-foot rope, that connection, being, you know, never sort of too far from each other. And it turned out really, really well, that we had set that up as a company name. And so that's where 5-foot rope came from. And so I just sort of went from there.
That is awesome. So you set up your networking event, like I said, and I know that you've been through a few transitions, let's say. So in-person networking events. Let's talk about your transition into virtual events.
Yeah, so, you know, as we all know, the wonderful COVID hit us in March. It was actually the 13th and 14th. It was the weekend of the 13th and 14th of March. And I remember it because we were running a Redlands for Stanthorpe footy carnival up in Stanthorpe, and for the drought relief and that sort of stuff that was happening at the time, and the bushfires and things like that. So we were up there, and when we came back, they had pretty much, you know, the poo had hit the Mistral as far as COVID or Corona, they called it back then, was concerned. And that's when, you know, everything went into lockdown. You know, we couldn't have physical events anymore. And I used to hold, you know, 4 events a month for networking. They would be sold out. I'd get 30, 40 people to my events. I'd get 25 people along to my breakfast. So there were sold out events. That shut that down completely. Couldn't hold those. Yeah. And we had scheduled a small business expo in the May at the Redlands Sports Club. And, you know, so that got shut down as well. And I was chatting to Claire Williams one night. We all know the beautiful Claire Bear. And I was chatting to Claire one night, and I said, you know, I've been sort of having a bit of a think, and I'd been trying to work out how to do it online. And I'd looked at different platforms, and there were these, you know, expo platforms or trade show platforms, but they were really expensive, and I couldn't afford them. And I'm thinking, you know, how do I do this? And Claire said to me, and I'm talking to Claire about this, and Claire said, well, I actually went to a market, an online market. And she said, and they held it in a Facebook group. And I just went, oh, bing.
Genius and
right?
Free.
And I'd been looking at these, what they used to call pop-up Facebook groups.
Yes.
And so they used to use them for courses. So you'd say, okay, I'm going to do a course on organic marketing, and they'd do a pop-up Facebook group. And then once the course was over, they'd close it down.
Yes.
Right. So you had to get in there to get the information. You couldn't do the replays and all that sort of stuff. And I had been in one that went for like 5 days. The training was for 5 days. And I had been thinking maybe I do it as a pop-up, and I do it and then I shut it down, and the logistics of that. And then when Claire said to me about the market, it was like, and she reckons that when she's talking to me, she could see my face go, oh, a little light bulb, you know. And I thought, right, okay, well, I'll do it in a group, in a Facebook group. Well, it's not going to cost me any money, and everyone knows how to use Facebook groups. It's a platform they're comfortable with. And so I went and set it up, and I had absolutely zero clue again of what I was doing. I really had no clue. But luckily for me, I'd built a fantastic community around me that trusted me, and that just all went, I'm in. And so at that first virtual expo, I think I had about 25 or 30 stall holders. So
and I remember that was the first experience I had, but that was the first time I even knew anything about you. I remember going into, actually, I remember the first time when you were starting 5-foot rope. I think it was the membership. And I went and had a look at the membership, and I'm going, right, who is this chick? Oh, I'm clicking on your links, and I'm going, who's this Manley chick? Oh, I don't check her out. And I was watching you do it live, and I'm watching you go, she seems a bit crazy. I think I like her. And now
I like it.
I loved it, and I loved your expo thing, your expo idea so much that, as everybody knows now, I copied it. I got hold of you one day, and I went, Suze, you're having too much fun. I don't even think I knew you very well. And I said, Susie, would you mind if I took your idea and ran with it? And your response was kind of like, shit, yeah.
don't care. But as long as I can be part of yours, then that's fine. Let's do this.
And we have, and thanks to beautiful Elaine Weller, our beautiful Laney, she is now called you the Queen of Virtual Expos, and I'm the Princess. And I like that. I should have a little crown.
You should have a little tiara, a little tiara.
A little tiara. I'll try and find one, and I'll wear it during my expo.
But, that's the brilliance, though, of the community, is that, I knew you, but I didn't know you like I do now. Like you said, we've become very, very close friends. And so, but we weren't that back then. We knew each other, but that, but that was the beauty of that community, was the fact that it was like, you're going to do that? Yeah, absolutely. I'll support you. And it was the same when Carlia, said that she was going to do her virtual expos, which were a little bit different. I'm like, hell's yeah, I'll support you. Just let me know what you need. And I think that's the wonderful thing, when you build a community around you of the right people.
Yes,
then
that's right.
That's what comes of that. And you just get in and support each other, even if you do the same thing, because you and I did very similar things at the time.
We did. And we've had so many collaborations as well, doing the same thing.
Yep.
We just work well together, girl.
We did, because we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Just ask us, we'll tell you. But it's fantastic. When you've got the right people around you, that when you have a win, they cheer you on. When the poo hits the mistral, they're the first to go, how can I help? If you're just having a crappy day, they go, what do you need? Yes. What do you need? Do you just need to chat? Do you need what do you need? Tell me what you need. And so that's how you surround yourself with the right people. And I think that's really important when you're in business, especially when you work from home, and especially when you work on your own.
I agree. And that's why I am so grateful personally to you. And I'm grateful to be involved in the 5 foot rope community. I am. I love it because of that. You have created a community with that exact frame of mind, and it's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so that's like two versions of 5 foot rope. I know you've got a couple more.
A few more.
Which is a couple more.
Well, and this is the thing in business, though. You can't. This is just me personally. You can do what you want in your business, but anyone watching, you can do what you want in your business. Do what you want. But for me in business, I think you have to be open to changing, because if you're not, it's like all the people that when the internet started, they went, it won't catch on. Right? This internet won't catch on. I'm going to keep my brick and mortar business, and I'm not going to have one of these site things. I don't know what they are, but I'm not going on the interwebby thingy. Right? I'm not having anything to do with it. And, and so they didn't. And majority of those businesses now are gone. Because, and because they're not, it's like AI now. People, I'm not touching AI, bloody AI. I'm not doing it. I'm saying I've got to be real. I've got to be authentic. I've got to be personal. And that's great. But guess what? AI is part of our life, whether you like it or you don't, and you have to embrace it. So you have to be prepared to change in business.
Just like Facebook Lives, isn't it? Like with me, and when Facebook Lives first started, I thought, they're dumb. No one's going to want to watch someone go live on Facebook for 5 minutes and talk about themselves. And I remember actually seeing this one particular lady, and she had a makeup business. And she would put her camera on her while she was doing her face every single day. And she made a business out of it. And I started to go, wait, hang on a minute. Maybe they're not so dumb. And now the irony of that is that's what I do. Like I go live, we're live on Facebook now. That's how I run my business. So isn't it funny? You have to stay up with the times, like it or not.
You've got
things do change, evolve.
I think with technology moving as quickly as it is in our lifetime, there's been so many changes come through that have changed the way we work, have changed the way that we function, have changed the way we communicate, have changed the way we connect with other people, and have changed the way we run our businesses, and has given us the opportunity to run them on platforms like Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and all the other, things that are out there. And I think if you don't If you don't do that, I think you're going to be left behind because your competition will grasp that. I know it happened when I did 5 foot rope TV, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a bloody brilliant idea, and everyone do their live on 5 foot rope on the page, and everyone support each other and comment and react and engage so that everyone gets better reach. And the reach that I was getting was insane. But majority of people couldn't see it. Majority of people didn't get it. They're like, what the hell is she talking about with these lives, and what's this reach thing? I don't understand what the reach thing is, because they weren't looking at Facebook as a business to be able to run a business on. And unfortunately, when COVID hit, a lot of the businesses that were doing their lives on 5 foot rope TV, like me, went, oh, I don't know what's going to happen now. So they couldn't afford. I think I was only charging like $20 a month or something.
But
the reach was just amazing, and I'd love to go back and revisit it and redo it, because I think now we have that better knowledge of the algorithms of lives, of how they work, of the support, of what happens when you interact and engage and support the other person to grow that community, to go, okay, right, guys, you know, everyone's going to have a show, right, a TV show every week on 5 foot rope, and that could be 3 a week, it could be 2 a week, could be 1 a week, whatever it is. And then I would also transfer them over to the YouTube channel. You know, so that was a brilliant way to get exposure, but because everyone else got in and supported each other. And I'd love to actually revisit that this year, because I still think it's a fantastic idea. And it also helps create a community.
It does, and that's the thing, you know. I know you've said this, and as entrepreneurs, you know, we really just have to keep educating ourselves. And quite often something that, you know, it didn't work out a couple of years ago, you can circle back to it and go, wait, hang on, now we are more educated, but not only are we as the people doing it more educated, but the general community is more educated. So now maybe it will work better this time, and you can also, because you've learned so much along the way, upgrade the way you do it as well. Because honestly, that's one thing I find about being an entrepreneur is you have to be creative.
And you have to always be open to learning something new.
Yes.
Because the minute you stop learning, or the minute you go, you know what, I know everything, even though I tell Troy on a daily basis that I know everything, right? Because I'm always right. You probably saw that ad on Marketplace where he sold all of our encyclopedias, no longer needed. Wife knows bloody everything. Just kidding, sorry. But you know, but I think you've always got to be open to learning, because the minute you stop learning is the minute you stop.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's as simple as that, you know. And you have to always be learning, you know, something. Just, you know, how to better everything, whether it's yourself, whether it's your skills, whether it's your mindset, whether it's your business, whether it's your mindset, motivation, marketing, momentum, whether it's any of those 4 pillars. Apparently there's some chick on Facebook that rabbits on about these 4 pillars. I don't know. You're going to virtually slap me now, aren't you? Yes, you are. But, you know,
not publicly now, but after, sure.
But those 4 pillars are so important in any business. And, you know, so you have to have that mindset of being open to learn, to change, you know, to redirect, you know, so.
Parvez just said, well, what a smooth promotion.
I know, right? Did you like that, Parvez? Like how I just slipped that in there for the Heart and Soul Business Academy.
You can get that for a promo grab later on there, Parvez.
By the way, I accept Tim Tams. I accept Tim Tams as payment and Bailey's.
I did once bring you a packet of melted Tim Tams. Do you remember that?
You did, and they were melted.
They were very melted, and I don't think we ended up eating them at all, because they went in your freezer for a little while. You brought them out, and it's like, no, I can't eat them still. Didn't realise how hot it was in Queensland, and then I got lost on the way to your place. And the only reason I bought the Tim Tams was to calm myself down, hoping that I'd be able to give you a lovely present. And I ended up handing you this packet of chocolate mush.
He's like, here's your Tim Tams. Enjoy.
And you just went, thanks.
I'm like, thanks.
I don't think I'll ever go back to my house again.
Bloody Mexicans.
Some people. All right, okay. Let's back to 5 foot rope. Okay, enough fun and frivolity here. There's no time for that.
No time for that.
No time for that. I ain't got no time for that. So okay, so because now I know you're doing. So you've had your networking events. You've had your 5 foot rope TV. And then you've had your virtual expos, and you're still having those because I was just involved in one a couple of weeks ago, which is brilliant.
Yep.
And I know you've got another one coming up. When's that?
In August. I've got one in August.
Beautiful, beautiful. If you want to pop the link in the comments to that after this, feel free.
Okay.
Oh, crap. Didn't come prepared. No, guys, seriously. If when you come and join our Heart and Soul Virtual Expo, watch what we do, because Suzi's runs pretty much, well, it does run exactly the same way, simply because I stole her idea and copied it. That's why. Proudly so. So, yeah, come and join our expo and then go and join Suzi's expo as a sponsor or a store holder, because you will get, fantastic support and be a part of another incredibly supportive community, just like our Heart and Soul community. So, all right, Suzi. So okay, what's another version of 5 foot rope? This is I could just talk about this forever because I know there's heaps.
So from there, so up till sort of I was doing my 5 foot rope business academy, where I had the members come in, and I used to just run trainings and things like that, and find good deals for them on whatever it was that I could find that I felt helped their business. Not they weren't my stuff, they were just things that other people had available and things like that. And then I came across some brilliant softwares that I decided to become a reseller for, because these were specifically for Facebook. They were absolutely brilliant. They were completely designed to help you grow your network on Facebook on complete automation. Everything was fully automated. So once you set it up, it just ran in the background, and it would go and find you the right people for you and your business, and send them a friend's request and send them a personalized message and do it. And it did everything in a very personal way, which is what I loved. It did it hands-free, which is what I loved. It helped you grow that network on a daily basis. And it just got better and better. And then the end of coming to halfway through sort of last year, or probably a little bit earlier than that, I had a couple of my clients who said to me, Suze, I really like the stuff that you create for Facebook. I do little videos, and I do, my own graphics and all this sort of stuff. And they said, would you do it for me, for my business? I don't want to do it. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to think about it. I want you to do it and schedule it for me for my business. And so I sort of fell into content creation. As I always say, I don't manage people's social media. That's just a personal thing. All the social media managers out there don't have a cow. But for me, I just believe that if you have a business on Facebook, then you need to be the face of that business. So it's okay me creating this stuff to schedule and keep you consistent on Facebook, so that when people go to your page, you have good content there, you have relevant content, you have call to actions, you have little videos that are up on Reels, and to get better reach, which is great. But I think you still need to absolutely answer the questions, answer the messages, anything like that. So I don't do any of that. I just create content, and I go and schedule it for them on their page. And I do other stuff for them, like they might need flyers, or they might need emails written and that sort of stuff. And I'll do a few bits and pieces from along the way. But it's mainly just content and graphic creation and unique graphics, because if you have a website and you don't have unique graphics, if you go and use something like Canva, which is great, love Canva, love Canva, but if you use the royalty-free images on Canva, then so will 1,000 other people have used those images, and Google actually penalize you when your images are not unique, and there's a way to check whether or not your images are unique. So you need completely unique images to get better ranking on Google. It all helps. So I create completely unique graphics that you will not find anywhere else on the internet, and create the content that goes along with that that's relevant for you and your business. And I schedule it for you so that you don't have to do that. And some of my clients will have it, 2 or 3 posts a week. Some of them are every day. It just depends on what package they decide to go for. But and I keep the packages very, very affordable. They start at about $67 a week, because content creation packages were like minimum $2,000 a month.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I feel like 3 posts a week, and I'm like, what? That's just highway robbery. Yeah. It's ridiculously insane what they charge for this, and I thought that's just stupid. So mine start at $67 a week, and that's for posting every second day, and that includes a couple of reels every month and a couple of stories every month, and so it's very, very affordable for small business owners. And then on top of that, I've gone into the software, the automated software, that helps you do the things. And especially lately with the latest one is the content scheduler that works in groups, because nothing works in groups anymore, because Facebook got rid of the API in the group. So none of the platforms like Hootsuite and Buffer and all the others, none of them work, because they're all API reliant. Whereas mine isn't API reliant. It's an extension on Google Chrome, so it doesn't need an API to work in groups. So now it's the only software that I know of that will not only schedule the post into the group, as well as on your personal timeline. It's the only one I know that does that. This completely automated, completely hands-free. It will not only do that, it will create the content for you, because you hook it up to ChatGPT, and it creates the demos for you. It's insane.
It is. It's incredible. And trust me, guys, Suzi actually did, in my group where we are streaming this, Confident Successful Business Owners, go and search for it, because Suzi did an incredible training a couple of weeks ago on her, I think it was the content scheduler you did it on, wasn't it, and how to use it. It was friggin' genius, guys. And trust me, this will save time in your business. And this is what I love. So your content creation business and the scheduler work really well together, don't they? And I just want to say too, if you want to see an example of some things some stuff that Suzi can create for you, come and join our virtual expo next week, because I'm very proud to say that for this expo, we ran out of time and beautiful Suzi has been helping us out and creating our sponsors videos for us. So check out those sponsors videos, guys, because this is the type of thing that Suzi can help you do. And like, you've been sending them to me all week, and I'm just going, oh, that's brilliant.
Like, is this okay, Ali? Did you like this one? You're like, that's awesome.
Like, oh my God, that's so good. That's literally what I'm doing in the background.
I show them to Mum. As soon as I finish one, I'll say to Mum, come and have a look at this. What do you think of this one? And Mum will just go, oh, that's great. I love it. I love the music. I love the colours. I love it. So, yeah, that's my testing team.
And me and Mum, and there was one in particular that you sent me today, and it was just like the music and the graphics that you did, and everything just captured the essence of this particular person's business. And I just went, that to me shows you as someone who really thinks about your clients and thinks about their brand and what they need to help grow their business. So brilliant job, and thank you, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, but yeah, they do work really well together, don't they? And that's what I'm finding as well. Your content scheduler that we have access to, and it is really good. The thing that I love about that, I'm gonna talk it up here because I can, is how now we say that you don't put a link that leads people out of Facebook in the post itself. You put it in the comments. And this is what I love about this content scheduler, because you can, when you're scheduling, put the comment in there and it will automatically schedule it. And I've gone, that is genius.
Yeah, it'll put, you can set it up so that it will put that link or whatever you want in as a first comment. So it schedules the post goes live, and then 2 seconds later, that comment appears, the link or whatever it is appears in that comment. And I love that feature. And this is why I love this software, is because the guy that develops it has developed it, as I said, specifically to grow your business on Facebook. So he will eventually do this stuff so that you can access Instagram. But for now, it is only for Facebook. And so this is the genius of it, is that he has grown an incredible business on Facebook. So he knows what it takes to grow a business and what's needed to connect with people and how to connect in a personal way and how to follow up. And he's got a massive suite of these softwares that I used to actually do them up as a bundle. But now I took a bit of a step back from my business a couple of months over Christmas and January. And coming back in, I've just put my toe back in that software pond. And I've just got the content scheduler, which is the AI powered content scheduler, and the group manager, which helps you approve people for your groups, checks out their email, sends out a personalized message if they've been approved, sends out a personalized message if they haven't been approved, sends out a follow-up message to them, which I love, tags them in a welcome post, and takes all their information, their Facebook ID, their email address, their everything, and puts it onto a Google Sheet, which is super, super powerful to build your database off Facebook. Because, guys, if you are not building a database off Facebook, then Suzi and Ali will smack, because you have to do that. Because if the poo hits the mistral with Facebook, then you've lost. And we've seen, how many people have we seen it happen to, Ali, where they've been hacked? They've lost their account on Facebook, which means they've lost all their contents, all their contacts on Facebook, because they haven't got them off Facebook into a database off Facebook. Super important, and this helps you do that, as well as helps you grow your group in a very personal way, and helps create that tight community, which is fantastic, which is what you want. And it does it all hands-free, all completely automated. And it's this software is unbelievable. And again, it's the only ones that will work in now with your Facebook groups, because they're not API reliant. So,
and not only that too, is, let me say, if you're sitting back and you're going, oh, well, I can't do that, I'm not techie, it doesn't matter, guys, because the training that both Suzi and Kevin, the owner, provide you, it is so easy to follow. Like if you dedicate like half an hour of your time, maybe an hour, and you can sit down and have this software up and running in no time. It's brilliant. And that's what I loved about it when I started using it. I was like, oh, because I was of that mind frame of like, oh, it's going to be too techie for me. I don't even know. And then I just decided that one day I was going to sit down and learn. And I went, oh, well, that wasn't that difficult at all.
No, it isn't. It takes a little bit to set up. Like I went and set up the group manager the other day in my group, and I hadn't done it for a while, and I had to get back into it. But once I went back and looked at the training videos, I was like, yeah, okay, I remember how to do all that now. It shows you how to set up the message segments, the message groups, the everything else. And it can be a little bit. At first you're like, oh crap, but once you watch the trainings and go, it'll all start clicking into place. But once you've got it set up, you really don't have to touch it again. You just let it run in the background, and and the content schedule is just heaps of fun to use. Like, it's not only brilliant to use, but it's just heaps of fun. So that's my techie nerdy side of me loves the fact that I've got access to these softwares, and that I can I'm able to provide them to people in our networks, in our communities, so that it helps them grow their business on Facebook, in a very automated way, and that they're not having to spend time doing this stuff. Like the content scheduler, you can schedule 32 weeks in advance.
Absolutely.
You can't even do that on so you can go and do that and make sure that you've got something going up every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, and in all of your groups, no matter how many groups you're in, all of your groups. So, and you don't have to be admin or moderator, you just have to be a member of the group. So
genius.
It's a no-brainer. It is bloody genius, I tell you.
It is bloody genius. So again, if you want to pop, any links you like, that you would like to, if people want more information on your software, on your content creation packages, because trust me, guys, like I said, what Suzi creates is really second to none, and she really does think about your business and your branding, and brilliant. So pop those links in after if you like, Suze, and guys, I strongly suggest that you go and check out Suzi. Not only, you've heard, Suzi's all about networking and surrounding herself with the right people. I feel personally very privileged to have you in my life. You just can't get rid of me. So
I know, thank God. Thank God. How many times have you saved my sanity, love? Jeez.
Yeah, back at you, sister.
Well, there you go. The last expo, because they got rid of all the API from all the groups, I couldn't be live. Wouldn't do it because I had to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Zoom was playing up, and we couldn't get it to stream because it was all just happening, and we couldn't get it to stream. And you stepped in and said, "Listen, use my StreamYard because that's working." And I'm like, because everything went wrong. Oh, the lucky door prize on the first day. I'm like, and I had. I know I had screens everywhere, and I was like, oh my God. So you saved my butt, I tell you what, and just by jumping on your StreamYard. So that was
and that was mighty fun too.
It was good. It was great. I loved it.
It was good. Well, thank you so much, beautiful Suze. So again, if you would like to know anything about 5 foot rope, Suzi will pop the links in very, very shortly. I really go and check her out. And like I said, when you come into our virtual expo, have a look at the sponsors videos in particular, because this is the type of content creation that Suzi can do for you. And trust me, these are friggin' brilliant.
It's been so much fun. I've loved putting them together. It's been so cool.
I know you do have, and that's the thing. That's the important thing. You got to love what you do, don't you? You just have to love it, and you so clearly do. It just comes through. So thanks, Suze. I'm going to pop you down in the waiting. Don't go away.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay, because we got to talk after.
Okay.
All right. Where is it? Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I love these sponsors interviews. We have another one coming up tomorrow now I don't know the time, just bear with me for 2 seconds, at 9:30 Adelaide time with the beautiful Elaine Weller from Weller Art. And you're going to be able to hear all about her journey and how she came into business, and hopefully maybe she might even bring some samples of what she does. That would be good. So again, thank you so much for Suzi for joining us, and thank you, Suzi, for being an incredible sponsor of our virtual expo. Thank you to all the beautiful sponsors. Again, if you would like to join us free as a visitor next Wednesday, the 12th of June, so we run for 3 days, 12th, 13th and 14th of June. Come on in. My beautiful assistant, Pame, has just put the link to the group. Come on in, join us as a visitor for free, guys. You can come in, you can get access to promotions, bargains, free trainings. We have lives going all day long with all sorts of demos happening. People sharing free training, card readings. There's all kinds of things happening. You just have to come in and experience it, guys. So come in, join the group for free. We would love to have you get involved. Oh, and there's one more thing that you have an opportunity to win thousands of dollars worth of lucky door prizes. The majority of our incredible stall holders are donating lucky door prizes, and there is a certain post that you need to find in the group. You need to follow the rules and instructions to enter the lucky prize draw. And then we have the prize draw at 4 p.m. Adelaide time every day. So as you can see, there is a bunch of stuff happening in our expo. Come on in and experience it. Come on in and join the fun and frivolity, because we do have lots of that. And I will see you tomorrow for our sponsors interview with the beautiful Lainey from Weller Art. Mwah. See you tomorrow, everybody. Bye.